I know I said that I was gonna be off on my overtime shift, but there's a reason why I came in. It was because I got that overtime shift and I was originally gonna be off, but then I decided that instead of using my leave, that was a rough start. So I know that
Fire control.
All right, where was I? So I know that I said I was gonna take off, or I was gonna be off until the 29th, but plans just changed just a little bit. So I was originally gonna be off until the 29th, or actually the 30th, but then I was gonna have to use leave for today, which there was a spot available to take off. So instead, like Anna was working, so there wasn't any really need for me to take off. So I decided that I was gonna work today, and then instead of taking that or using that leave, that I was gonna sell it back. So here within the county, we can sell back our holidays. So, you know, typically on a 40-hour work week, you get to, or like if you work like, let's say Thanksgiving, you get that day off, like a paid holiday. Well, here, since it's a 24/7 job, instead of getting paid for not working or, you know, having the day off, they just give us a holiday that we could take off at any time for the 3 months. So for Thanksgiving, that's accrued holiday 11. With that, we could either use it and take the full 24 hours off, or they give us the option to sell it back. So you sell it back 1-to-1 and they just pay you out like a little extra. So that's what I decided to do. I decided to come in today and work, save my leave, and then sell back one of the holidays. But after today, I am off until the 30th. So tomorrow I got a trade. One of the other commanders is coming in. He's gonna work for me tomorrow. And then I took off some leave next cycle. So it'll be nice. So now today, just got some paperwork to drop off at the headquarters, and then it's time to renew my EMS license. So I'm an EMT intermediate, so the EMS division handles all that for us. So I'll be going over there now, doing the fingerprints, doing all that background check, signing up for that, so that come the new year, I can get me back recertified, renew my license.
Available by radio.
That's right. Did it. Another flat white. I don't really need an excuse, but today I got one. The weather, really cloudy. It's cool. Perfect weather for a hot flat white. So I did it. So I'm gonna start my day again today. A nice flat white. Creamy, delicious flat white. Cheers. All right, let's get this day started. Let's go.
Oh, you want to see the arms that are bigger than yours?
15.5.
I don't even have any definition, dude. They're just
16.
Were mine 18s? They used to be 19s.
18-inch pythons.
Baby pythons. But my sister's bigger.
Engine 32 in the area, ATL.
The destination is on your left.
This guy says he smelled somebody burning leaves.
All right.
You could just, he thinks it's you can cancel everybody, we'll take care of it.
All right. And just like that, got canceled. So it was a full dispatch. We had
engine 32, you can cancel 55
we had engine and rescues from Bernalillo County, and then we also had engines, rescues, ladders coming from Albuquerque. So we got on scene. There was a guy standing outside. He said he called it in. He said he smelled a lot of smoke. So once you have like something like that, you kind of start getting clues, and we call that part of like the 8 critical factors. We're making assessments, going en route So we make contact with him, and then we immediately downgrade everybody just to make sure that, you know, we're not rushing or putting like citizens in danger by us like speeding through. So we're just saying, hey, we don't have anything. You guys can code 1. I mean, still come en route, but just, you know, slow it down a little bit until we confirm that we have something. Typically, if it's like a legit structure fire and you're going en route, you'll see like heavy smoke. You'll smell it. You'll see the glow from a distance if it's dark. So you know, kind of just based off of the notes, single calling party, the neighbor, they're no longer on scene, things like that. If you were to stop and see a fire, somebody's house on fire, more than likely, like, you're gonna stick around just to call and then wait until somebody arrives to handle the problem. So if they ever just kind of passerby, or they passerby or they left, typically what that means is like whatever they had is more important, or like they just thought they saw something, and then so they just take off, and it's nothing that crazy. The problem, or I guess the reason why we can't just accept that over the phone, is depends on how the calling party, or how the call taker takes that call and packages it. Depending on what the calling party says, like, yeah, I saw a large plume of smoke or this, they input it, and then it just spits out like which units are recommended based on the information. So it really does depend on how that person that's calling 911 says, or what they say they saw, makes a difference on who gets to go to that call. So anyways, turned out to be nothing. We couldn't find the smoke. You know, it's getting colder now, so a lot of people lining up their fireplaces, so the smoke could come from several places, but we didn't find any hazards. So now we are heading back to our stations. It is 7:30 right now, and Pedro's been trying to make dinner since 5 o'clock, before 5 o'clock. So it looks good. He made some homemade meatballs. I forgot the name of the pasta he's making, but it looked good. He gave us a little meatball, and it tastes good. Just the problem is, every time they get a call, he has to turn the stove off. When he gets back, they turn it back on, and it just takes a long time. So it'll probably be worth it. Going back, time to eat. Good morning. So I had to come out here in the morning because my office is like right next door, or right next to the officers' bedroom. So they could hear everything. And then it was kind of like converted into like 2 separate rooms at one point. I mean, it's still there. There's like a door that would lead back and forth into the 2 rooms. Not sure why it's like that, but it's always been there. On the other side, they have their lockers that are set up against that door. So anyways, the point of it is, like, if I were to do this inside my office, it'll just be speaking, and you could hear right through those walls too, but they'd be able to hear me on the other side while they're sleeping. Sometimes my officer, who's normally here, he took off. He's testing for a captain this morning. He had mentioned a couple times that he could hear me talking on the phone, and I don't think it was me on the phone. I think sometimes it's like making the edit, because obviously you could hear my voice while I'm making the edit. So I've gotten better about throwing the headphones on and doing that. So anyways, I came out here, enjoy some coffee. I wake up at 4:30 every morning, just with no alarm, wake up. Usually around 4:30 is my wake up time now. This morning at 4 a.m., we got a call for a 9 echo, so unconscious, not breathing. That was in District 38. By the time I got from the room over to my vehicle, dispatch came on and said that there was a status change. So the person that they're calling about is now conscious and breathing. So truck 38, the captain over there, said, go ahead and cancel battalion. So I canceled. I went back, and I was gonna try to go back to bed, because it was like 4. I was like, God, maybe I'll sleep in till 5. That didn't work. So here we are, 5 a.m. Got my morning routine drinking, the Himalayan sea salt with honey, warm water, pouring me some coffee, and now we're here. But yesterday was a pretty mellow day for the most part. I had to run a few errands, drop off some paperwork. Every time that we have to, one of the stations, or they have paperwork for injury, or maybe they lose some equipment, which happened on one of our probationary firefighters. I guess they showed up to work, opened up their trunk, and their gear was missing. So it happens. We tell them just not to keep that stuff in their car, but what are you supposed to do when you're at an apartment or wherever they live? Funny thing about that is Station 12 from the city department called us up and said, hey, I think we have some gear from one of your guys, Bernalillo County, on it. So they found his gear. I don't know how they got it. I don't know if they went on a call or maybe like somebody that was homeless maybe had it. I'm not sure. They found the gear. They went and picked it up, but we still have to turn in that paperwork just in case anything was missing. So I dropped off that paperwork yesterday, and then while I was there, I had to sign for my background check for renewal for our EMT license. I think I mentioned that yesterday. But it's that time of year. Gotta renew my license. That'll put me good for a couple more, and then maybe have one more after that. Let's see how it goes, how my future here in the department. All right, those are my morning thoughts of the day. I got off this morning. It's 5 now. Get off in 4 hours. I'm really excited. I got some fun mail coming in today, and then coaching, and then I'll be heading over to Nashville this weekend for a coach's development course. So it's gonna be a good week. Next week is Thanksgiving. I have that shift off. So I have Thanksgiving off. I think that's the first time in the past 2 years where I've had off completely. So I'm really looking forward to that, spending time with the family, really unwinding, and then I come back, and then it's the home stretch for the year. I'll get back on the 1st. Oh no, actually on November 30th will be my first official day back on my shift. And then after that, it's just quick. The year's gonna be gone and do it all over again. All right, I'll see you tomorrow. Peace.